Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. Time to turn our attention to the Southern Footy League Round 1, Baz. It was all happening. Yeah, well, there were some big results, no doubt. Yeah. As always, the Press, Craig Warman joins us. Craig, thanks for coming in.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Very well, mate. Now, there's some big games come up in Round 2, but we need to get to Round 1 first, mate, just to give the viewers an idea of what happened. So, Cove, too strong for Aldinga. 8-goal winners in the end at Aldinga. Was the margin indicative of the game?
Till half-time, there was only a goal in it at half-time. Aldinga had played really, really well. Then the coach of Cove, Brett Baldy, made a really, really positive move. Took Mick Galley out of the ruck and stuck him up forward. And Michael was 6'4".
The boys just kicked it long and strong, and he was okay.
Yeah, and he finished up with 5 in the second half and proved to be the difference. Although in the last quarter, Aldinga started the last quarter really well. They were only 3 goals behind at that stage. Had 5 shots for goal and kicked 5 points. So if that had been 3 goals too, it could have been game on. But at the end of the day,
and if only had she'd be uncle. So come on, mate.
It reminded me a bit like Port Adelaide against Brisbane.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, fairly similar.
I just thought I'd get that one in.
No, that is at Aldinga. So that's a good win.
It is a good win. First up, any win in the first round is a good win.
It's a good win.
As you know, start the season, you've got to get runs on the board early because come winter time and the grounds get hard and soggy and
all jokes aside too, mate, you do have to kick straight, don't you? If you
do.
Wow, the misses you miss and the other mob, you can be guaranteed, that they'll hit. That's what
always the way, mate.
That's always the way.
Now, mate, Morphett Vale, they've been on a slow rebuild from last year, and it's taken them a while, but Christie's Beach at home, too strong for them. But are we seeing some positive signs for
There's some
Morphett
positive
Vale?
signs coming out of Morphett Vale. Again, it's going to be a slow process for them. But they're starting to get a few people back at the club. New coach, as well as I do. It takes 2 or 3 weeks for his style and game plan to be implemented by everyone across the table. But I would think Morphett Vale, not without their chance. Christie's Beach played in the finals last year, so they're a good side. They've been topped up with a couple of really good inclusions. One Blake Carter from South Adelaide. Ooh. He's back there full time.
Yep.
He'll be if he doesn't win the goal kicking.
Something wrong.
Because he's always good for 4 or 5 a game. So he's a really big inclusion for them, and that has been their Achilles heel for the last couple of years. They just haven't had people up forward to contribute week in, week out.
The Battle of the Hill, Flaggies, Happy Valley, always a derby.
Yeah, it is a derby.
And a big one. And a big one. It's always been a big game.
It has been a big game. And again, Flagstaff Hill, we talked about it earlier, they've lost quite a few
players,
But when you look at the side that actually went out on the paddock on last Saturday, they're still going to be a really good side.
Because you said about Flaggies, that they may come back to the pack of fraction because they've lost a few.
Yep.
Sounds like they might have picked up a couple as well.
Yeah, they've certainly picked up young Webby from West Adelaide. He's been a really handy inclusion, big centre half back.
He's on the power list.
So he's pretty handy.
That Webby you're talking about.
Yeah. So,
okay, he's a really good player. Yeah, he's a good player.
So, rob Peter to pay Paul a little bit, but...
so Flaggies, instead of coming back, might have moved away again.
Well, he's a very good player. He is a very good player.
Yeah.
Webby.
But I'm interested in this one. There's a little bit of revenge in this one. Norlunga and my team, Ranella.
Well, you're talking about...
Things are a little bit grim for my group on the weekend, I might say, but Norlunga did cause some pain.
Yeah, they did. And,
on the scoreboard.
And when you look at Norlunga, they're going to be there or thereabouts again. They're always really well coached under Barry Pillmore. Again, it was one that they probably needed in the first round to... get rid of the shackles of last year.
Yeah, but the Whinies, I don't know, they're slow starters. It's only round 1. It's only,
you don't write anyone off after
plenty
after
of
round
time to
1,
go there, isn't there?
Because we haven't seen, and we'll get to see them this week, Port Norlunga, because they have a
bye.
And of course, they've got a couple of really big ins, namely one Jake Vardy from South Adelaide.
Oh, okay, another one.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, let's have a talk about
got anyone left?
No. Let's have a talk about...
Well, don't knock South Adelaide. They're doing really well. They've won the first 2 games.
Well, they beat Port
Adelaide easily.
Beat them easily,
Beat Centrals really easily.
And played really well, I might add.
And the good part about that from the Southern Football League perspective is they've got a coach there now that believes in the programs that we're putting forward and is using the kids that are coming out of our league.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Yeah, well, you think about this, Phil, how big an area that is down there and how big the football is down there. I don't think South Adelaide have really tapped into that market properly for a decade. There, I'll go back to when I was at, there's a lot of players up there, mate.
Currently
a lot of footballers up there.
Well, I guess the upside is that they're doing it now.
They're doing it now.
It's 70% local talent.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
In the senior sides of South Adelaide.
right.
No brown snakes on the grounds for you blokes?
No, mate.
No, kept them clear. Let's say, you talked about Port Noarlunga. They did have the bye. They're up against Happy Valley at Happy Valley. How do you see this one, round 2?
If we go back to last year,
Yep.
this was the game that cost Port Noarlunga dearly. They could have finished in the top 3.
Got knocked off.
And Happy Valley knocked them off.
Yes. They
Last
might
year.
get mentioned, you would think.
Well, I would think it might be. New coach, Guy Ridgway out there at Happy Valley. New coach as well, Clint Holmes from Port Noarlunga.
Don't know whether you dwell on that.
He's stepped up because the coach of Port Noarlunga last year, Nick Manhood, is assistant A-grade coach to Jared Wade at South Adelaide now.
Right.
So there's progression all the way through. For not only players but coaches as well.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
In that one,
What are you thinking?
I've heard Port Noarlunga are pretty good. They've got Jake Vady back from South via Mount Compass. I think Port Noarlunga, even though it's at Happy Valley, Port Noarlunga for me.
And the mighty Cobras, Christie's Beach.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Both
And
impressive last week.
At Cobra.
they
Yeah,
were
Cobra Park.
at Cobra Park. Feel the venom.
Feel the venom.
And I think Christie's might feel the venom this week. It'll be interesting to see some of the matchups. Cove have lost a few players, but they've certainly, on what we saw last week, recruited really well as well. So it'll be interesting to see where Galley plays, whether he plays in the ruck against the coach of Christie's, Neil Reeves.
Or up forward again.
Or up forward again. Because they've got another young lad who is a little bit green in a ruckman, but giving time, he'll make the grade.
All right, this one's going to be a belter, mate. You got this one. You have to brace yourself for. Noarlunga, Flagstaff Hill. I know we're only one game in, but it could almost be a look at this year's grand final. Both teams super impressive on the weekend.
Very much so, and of course the Tribe Vandal again doing that one. And it's at Noarlunga, their first home game. You'll always get a real big crowd down there for that. Having the reigning premiers come as well, you want to get in early if you want to get a good park. Be down there bright and early. Look, I can't fault Flagstaff Hill. So again, they've had the wood over Noarlunga in recent times, and we only got to think back to last year when Noarlunga were 4 goals up, leading going into the last quarter, and got overrun.
Yep.
So toss of a coin, but I'll stick with the premiers.
Oh, we're getting the wind up here, but quickly, mate. Morphett Vale v Ranella at Morphett Vale.
That's the local derby on, and that's on Sunday as well. So we will also broadcast that one at the Tribe Van.
Ranella to bounce back, surely.
Well, yeah, I think they will.
Yep.
And although it is more at Morphett Vale, so you always don't knock the home side, but I think Ranella got a bit to prove after last week.
Hey, mate, always great to catch up with you.
Yeah, mate.
Southern Footy League this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Get down and support it. Some terrific games. Stay with us. Plenty still to come on the show.